I talk to a spirit. She comes in my dreams.
What is the path to awakening supposed to look like? To feel like? How do you know if you are on it? We ask these very sacred and sometimes vulnerable questions to many different women from all walks of life. A conversation that needs to be shared and heard. I'm Jo Hendy.
I'm Amanda Parker.
And welcome to the Girl Awakening podcast. Hello, Amanda.
Hello, Jo. Just tapping into a bit of energy there of being together today. It feels rather special.
Extra special day today.
Yeah. But we were saying every
saying
moment is
an opportunity. Yes, so we're not going to
recognise
focus too
that.
much on the numbers and all that, although they are important and we love to utilise them. We're not going to completely
be sidetracked around missing out or not in the right place or the right time because it's that day, so we should stop everything and be there or where or and create stress around it.
Yeah,
keep
who
it in a
needs more
beautiful
stress
space.
in their life? Not me.
And we have our beautiful monthly gateway, gorgeous soul Zhara here with us today.
Yeah.
To bring the monthly gateway, the portal 1111.
Hey ladies, how are you? Good to be here, as always.
Yeah.
Feels like it was just yesterday we were sitting here, actually.
Yeah,
It went
it
by.
does. How quick is time going? That quick. That quick.
Well, speaking of, for me, the 1111 is like we all have an affinity with different numbers and things, but I think most people feel a connection with the 1111 for whatever reason, or get a little thrill when they see it on their clock or on their phones and things. But it's the two columns always seems like that doorway, the gateway, the actual physical representation of what we're walking through.
Because that portal is open, and like Jo was just saying, it is open in every moment, but it's a reminder that there is a gateway and a doorway here for us to walk through. And it's that little soul urge, that tickle inside that goes, oh yeah, it's the reminder. But like you said, it is a gateway and a doorway in every single moment for us to harness and to access. And it's even more potent right now because the energies are ascending, and we do have this breath work that's available to us, and in such a different way, because we're able to access parts of the consciousness we weren't able to access before. So you're having this awakening moment, I think even more so now than ever for the masses.
Yeah.
And so I think it is important to get excited when you see something that tickles your feet, so to speak, like the 1111, but to remember to stay really grounded in every moment is a gift.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. I think that's so powerful in itself. Just to utilize the energies when they're amped up a little bit more, like the 1111s or the eclipses or the full moons or whatever they are. It's just an extra boost kind of thing that we can tap into.
It is, and it's a collective. This is the information that I'm receiving right now. It's a collective consciousness decision to make that have meaning and importance.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so, what do we actually want to give meaning and importance to as a collective New Earth society or global organization where we all do want to create change? We have to now put that emphasis on something more than a number and give meaning to what we actually want to create, because it is our time to do that, but it's a consensus that has to come together. So as we birth all these new steps in our own lives, their individual journeys, what if we did that on a collective level? Really stated the same mantra or the same manifestation vision at a certain time every day across the world. You'd see a new earth birth really rapidly.
Yeah. I had an opportunity the other night to sit with some incredible people, and this came up, and I asked the question, what's ahead for us? And, why are we having this quickening right now? This quickening around having to clean your shit out, basically. And this gentleman said, because we're needed, we are going to be needed in the future. we're going to be needed to support others, and it is a collective consciousness, thing that we're going through. There's a whole group of people on the planet that are, moving quite quickly, and others that may be caught in places, and that the people that are clearing out their own stuff will be able to support the others when whatever occurs.
And that what occurs is actually up to us. And that's a really interesting point, because on this timeline, it's like there's so many waves, there's so many rocky moments, there's so much confusion, but we're able to actually get ahead of it and match it from an energetic standpoint. Those who are awakened, those who are ready to make the jump, can come and hold the curtains for the others. And that's what you're doing, and that's what you're doing in this work, is you're getting them ready. You're getting them ready to make that jump.
So,
I like that.
yeah, what you're talking about, sorry, lovely, what you're talking about, is this, is this also, like, let's just look at what's occurring on the planet right now. A distraction to keep people in a certain place.
In what particularly are you asking as a distraction?
The war.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're looking, okay, so I'm going to get out of the way and just let it all come through. Sutakunayana, Sumasya. So the war is a fear-based tactic to ensure people stay attached to greed, to lack, to scarcity, and to the ability to wreak havoc within their own souls. So if you look at the war as a gift, everything changes. And everything must change in order for the shift to occur. So if we can look at this war, if we can look at everything that's going on in the collective, because you have a lot of shadow that is right, front and center right now. If we can look at these as opportunities and change points to make a difference, then we step up into this new earth timeline as a collective society so much easier, so much more gracefully. But it's hard for most of us to get our head around looking at the images on TV and the severe destruction and find any type of gift in that.
Yeah. And it's even hard for people to even talk about it in this way, because there's an energy that doesn't want anybody to look at it any other way.
It's an extremely emotional conversation as well, and it's hard for people not to get emotionally overwhelmed, whatever type of emotion that is, with or, it can be anger, fear, grief, guilt, all these kind of emotions that come in around such destructive situations. To have it, to talk about it from a the eagle's perch on a bigger picture, the gift. People, often their first reaction might be, oh, you're cold-hearted, or you don't care, or those kind of denial aspects around. But what if we did look at it this way? Well, I think, was it you that posted, or somebody said, I can't remember seeing recently, around the day that there's a call to war and nobody shows up. That for me just really struck home. Was like, wow, what if we just don't answer the call?
Yeah.
Nobody show up.
Yeah.
What happens then?
Yeah.
We have peace.
Amazing.
And then you've already made it through that gateway, because that time will arrive. And right now we're getting ready for that tipping point to occur. And so your podcast is a very valuable tool in order to help people realize that they must surrender to what's going on outside. It doesn't mean not to get up and fight, but you fight from a different angle, which is that surrender and that allowance of every timeline to be experienced, because this is the soul's growth.
Yeah.
And some people want war. Some people want devastation. And it's not necessarily a conscious thing, but that's where their soul is going in order to grow.
Absolutely. So it's about going inside yourself and finding what are the parts that I am feeling, or feeling triggered by, or feeling sad by, or feeling what is it within me that I can clear to then support it at another level.
Yeah, and making it relevant to your, because you can, a lot of the disconnection with it for people, say here in Australia as well, as we're on a part of the planet where we're so far away from the reality of these concepts, yet we can be watching it and have opinions around it, or connections through family, or it is a global village. But if we bring the concept of war to our everyday life and think, okay, well, where am I facing war in my life? Is it the road rage? Is it with
family members?
Family members, or somebody in the bank, or this kind of scenario. Where are my little wars, and how am I approaching those? And coming back to what you were saying, like where we surrender and find different ways to address these little wars can create huge change and shifts in ourselves, but also the environment around us.
And that's the whole game, is recognizing that the war rages from the inside and it's broadcast into the external sphere. So peace is only a heartbeat away, but it's your heartbeat that really counts.
It's so I can understand how hard it is for people that are listening to this too. There would be a bit of what's that word where you take
cognitive
yes a lot of that happening, because it's hard. It's more of a feeling than trying to work it out. It's like because I also get, I've watched pictures on Instagram that pop up on my feed of horrible things that make me want to cry, and then I go, then the next moment I'm sitting with somebody that's has a bigger picture around it, and I'm like, oh wow, okay, yes, I can see that I got drawn into that distraction to stop me from, in that moment, from being outside of it and holding a better space, kind of thing. So it's hard for people to understand what we're saying, but it's a tricky one.
It is because there are so many layers to the battlefield, so to speak, because it is a battlefield and there is a war raging, and that's very real. And I'm talking about the war that you see in the external collective on the world stage, also the war that's within the own self, and also the war that's going on intergalactically as well as interdimensionally. It's all very, very real. People are dying. There is destruction. Souls are being lost. I do not want to take away from that for one bit, because that is an acknowledgement that I've made with many tears, with many, 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 many moments of grief. And it's important to recognize that and not to shove it aside. But that grief process and that ability to look at these images, and still I'll still shed a tear and I'll still feel that sadness when I see certain images, especially of children, right? And it makes me know how valuable the work that we're doing is. It's a reminder that, okay, we do actually need to fight. And that is something that's close to home to me, is war and destruction from multidimensional and intergalactic levels. I have very clear memories, and I'm very clear on why I'm here. It's to stop that. But we have been waging the war from the wrong battlefield, and we have to look at the part that we're playing both sides. And that's the ending of the game as we know it, because this is a holographic reality. And if we can get closer to understanding the end goal, which is recognizing that you are me and I am you, from that level, we've won. And it all comes to an end. But that is it's a process, and we have to go through those. It's the anger, it's the grief, the tears, the sadness, the complete devastational moments. These are part of the process of understanding that you don't want it to happen anymore. And it's actually not fair what's going on. It's not. What's happening on one level is kind of a hoot because we're all playing these roles and we're helping each other remember who we are. On another level, there is serious destruction happening. And it is to timelines and it is to souls. So we're playing this multi-dimensional battlefield right now. And on one level, you're sitting in the stands and you're knowing that everyone's friends, right?
Yeah. Yes.
In the long run, you get off the field, that's your brother.
Yeah.
On the other hand, we have to fight this battle. We can't just say, oh, it's all love and light and that's going to win. We have to open our mouths and speak our truth. And the truth is, like you're saying very clearly, is we have got to wage the war from the inside out. And from there, we're in a better position to actually assist.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, we've come to a greater understanding of intergenerational trauma, and there's people who are, second, third generation in refugee camps and things, places around the planet where people are living in extreme circumstances, and it's everything that they know on a physical, mental, emotional, cellular level because it's been passed through.
Yeah.
So it's very real what it is that we have to purify, detox, cleanse out of our system in every aspect, in that holistic way.
And because when you do that, then you can mobilize action from a space that's actually going to create change. And you have so many change agents in the world today working on the ground and in the trenches. And I don't want to go into the details, but there are people who are right in there assisting at the moment on all these front refugee camps, right in the center of devastation and war.
Wow.
And it's about, what is your role?
Yeah.
What is your role right now? And that's what we owe ourselves, and we owe our community as a species, is to step into that role.
Actually, and some of the, just reminding me, some of the discourse at the moment is around the veil being thinner and people, we're all trying to find our purpose and our reason for being here. And it's the conversation is coming around to, well, what is my gift? And now the conversation is going to the next level of, what is my gift to humanity? What is my purpose for being here to assist with the process that's happening on the planet in this time?
Yeah,
and that's
exciting.
Allowable, yeah, so
exciting to break them and then break the density of what we're talking about,
which is what you were also talking about at the beginning. Like we're all breaking ground for what's coming next.
Yeah,
and some of us can go to the trenches. Some of us can, hold a space. Yeah. Some of us need to be like, Mish, the girl last week in corporate, working in injustice and heart space. What you're doing with the water, purifying, not purifying, cleansing our water.
Cleaning the water.
And
that's what I think it is.
It's showing of, water. Wow.
It's a breaking down of the density in any environment, isn't it? That's the bottom line. Basically, there's a program.
Yes.
In most things. I mean, even in water, there's a program in water.
In all things, I think.
And it's about dissolving and going in there and holding the space for whatever reason that is, and whatever your gift is, to be able to do that. Because I know that I went through a stage, even with my work that I do with young girls, is it the right thing? Should I be doing something different? And I'm like, I got it this year. No way. That's where you need to be, in those classrooms, just sharing what you know and just giving them an opportunity to look at something different. Yeah.
And that's creating so much change, because this is where they're getting programmed the most, and you're breaking that cycle of violence. It's actually in the school systems with shutting these kids down, and you're opening them back up to the reality.
And
they're
coming through more open than ever. And it's like, what the hell? That's why we've got more kids with ADHD, with autism, with all these so-called I'm not saying that they shouldn't be labelled or whatever, but
neurodiversity
is
very obvious.
Yes,
yeah.
They're coming through awake,
and they actually do need the support. So I think programs like yours are just so vital for this country and every other country.
Yep.
And that's an effort that actually needs mobilization. And so if there are people out there listening, they're like, how can I help? That's a huge area, because you affect these kids.
Yep.
And you get into those standardized education systems, you create a whole different child.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that child is a whole different adult and a whole different role model and a whole different leader. And that in itself is it's breaking the chains.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Maxine with childosophy is the same thing, isn't it? With
Yeah.
the chakra, bring the chakra systems in, and soul-based work with children, and
which is coming through. She went through a nightmare trying to get that accredited.
But she did.
She did.
That's fantastic.
And it's like, yay! It gives you hope that
everything's loosening up. Like it is dissolving. It's I actually see it as already dissolved. We're just kind of following in the footsteps, doing the work. It's like when you have a map, you're going to Sydney.
Yes.
Like you're going to get there, but you're still
you've got to do the drive.
It could be roadworks, it could be floods, it could be this, it could be that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or you could grow wings and fly. Who knows? Who
Yes.
knows? And that's where we need to sit right now. Is who knows what is possible tomorrow?
Yeah.
And if we can really hold that intention and that actual activation within ourselves, that all things are possible and everything can shift in a moment, then we can make it happen. That's quantum reality.
What a beautiful area to step into, just quickly too, is around this. I've been getting in myself the limiting ways that I've been contained. I didn't say container, I said contain. But even, from, if we go back through our childhood, and we have this question in our Girl Awakening podcast, which is, when did you start to wake up around the about the world around you? And it's like, I didn't wake up until I probably met my husband, when he started sharing things with me that opened my eyes. And then we, it's a very what do you call it?
Steep incline
when you learn. You're just like, what? Slippery slope, yeah. It's like, how much our mind is contained, but how many possibilities there are. And we only need to just go, I just want to open my mind up and think that anything is possible. And it really actually is.
Yeah.
But we're being so contained most of our life to think, no, you can't have that, you can't have that, you can't have that.
Yeah.
You've got to do it this way, you've got to do it that way. No, my mum said this, my dad said that, my boyfriend said this, whatever. The school said this. We're so contained. That's what I've been feeling lately.
You're ready to break out of the cage.
Then you add intuition, which is coming in more stronger than ever now, and you have these beautiful little gifts happen to you, and I cry when they happen now, because it's that
recognition.
That's the recognition that anything's possible,
And it's the seed. You plant that seed and you watch it grow. And so plant that seed over and over and over and over within yourself and with everyone else that you see, because that seed of consciousness will spark and it will ignite a wildfire of revolution and change. Yes. And we are growing at such rapid rates as multidimensional beings right now. And so you're going to find that the more you water that seed that you've already planted, that you are an infinite possibility in a human form, you're going to see some wild things occur. Yes. And that's
exciting.
It is exciting. And there was an Instagram post. There's an Instagram post that came up on my feed the other day, and it was this guy demonstrating how easily manipulated the human consciousness is. So he had two circles on a screen. One was blue, one was red. I don't know if you've seen this.
No.
But okay. And he said, which one's bigger? And everyone, made up a decision in their mind which one was bigger. And he said, I bet you were going to say that they're the same, but they're not. The blue one's bigger. And so everyone goes, oh yeah, it does look bigger. And I was following the process myself. And then he came back around. This is how easily you're manipulated. They're the same size.
It's so true, isn't it though? Yes. Exactly what you're saying, how much we believe. Just what we hear.
Yeah, straight away you're reminding me of, there's a HR exercise, like a team bonding thing, and there's all these people standing. Everyone in the room gets to watch this little video of people standing in front of a elevator, waiting for the elevator, and you're watching it, and then the instructor goes, so did anybody see the gorilla? And everyone's going, no. And then he says, okay, watch again. And everyone's looking for the gorilla, and you can't see it. And he goes, did anyone see it? And he goes, no. And then someone always goes, oh, yeah, I saw it. And then the next, he shows the video again on slow-mo. And, of course, there's this gorilla suit weaving his way, or person, in a gorilla suit weaving its way through the people. But when you see it, it's speeded up. But I worked out later, I think exactly that. He's manipulated us to see who will go imagine that they saw it even though it wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the same thing, it's like trickery.
Yeah.
And we're subjected to it every day in so many ways.
Yes.
And so
every day.
What is actually possible in this universe is something that we actually can't comprehend quite yet. But if we can start to imagine of living in an unlimited world, with unlimited possibilities, and unlimited imaginations, we will see things just fly. And that is the power of the collective sphere. And so what you're doing on your podcast, and what everyone who's using their voices and speaking up, if you can remind people that they are the infinite consciousness of Christ, of God, of Source, of Creator, however you want to take that onto your own personal belief system, you're capable of anything. And I've been watching quantum networks in the physical form just firing back up.
Wow.
With people random people who've come to me. I'm like, oh, look at that. We just literally are flipping a switch, and their bodies are processing energy at a much faster cellular rate. And so they can hold more density, but also more light. So as soon as they flip that switch, the density leaves, and their physical pain's gone, everything's gone, and they're all of a sudden a master quantum generator. This is how fast it can happen. And these are people who've been in severe pain and broken spines and everything. You can heal overnight. You can heal in an instant, but we've been so contained that we can't, that we're unable to see that. So just start opening the mind to, okay, there is an unlimited amount of possibilities available to me here for each and every person, no exception.
It's so wild, because I had this experience with one of my children, and I won't name which one, who's a powerful, they're all powerful creators, as we all are. But this one plays this game with the metaphysical world, let's say, and whenever this one is on track, pulls in work in the creative space, no problem. When not, it dries up. And the moment that he has a realization around something or frees something out, within a moment, the phone's like, the email will go off, and there's a job. There's an opportunity. And I just say to him, look how quick that happens, honey. When you're feeling light and you're having realizations, and you're, getting rid of that density. Giving yourself self-love and recognizing that worth, and not getting caught up in, too many details and all that. But just exactly what you're saying, how quick the opportunities flow in when we're really free in the headspace. Too, we're like, there's nothing there, so there's only that space of creation and opportunity. And what do we want? What do we want from that space?
Exactly. And I think that's where the mindfulness starts, the process. And then you start to build upon that, and you learn about the law of attraction, and you learn about the quantum mechanics of reality, and how you can harness every moment to be the truth of what you want it to be. And that is the work. That's the work of coming back into alignment with the soul, which is an infinite creative sphere. But we do it in every moment. We create in every single moment. So
it happens in the negative too, doesn't it? So if you've got somebody that's down in the dumps, that's just continually this cycle of nothing's happening for me, this and that and this and that and this and that, they're going to keep getting the same thing.
You never turn off.
Yeah.
You're an infinite light switch.
Yeah.
And you're an infinite spark into the universe, and you're always attracting.
Yeah.
And just because you're attracting something you don't like 1 minute doesn't mean it can't change in the next. So it's, so we can't have guilt or shame or beat ourselves up. We actually just have to have a breath and relax and take a deep breath and breathe. It's breathe.
Yeah.
Breathe. Go cycle, go exercise, go jump in the ocean.
Yeah.
And it's that alignment before action, isn't it? It's something that's been working a lot for me lately is feeling okay about taking a moment to create the space and breathing myself into alignment, and then stepping forward from there into the action, whatever that might be.
That's really well said, Amanda. And sometimes that moment may be a week, or it might be 6 months, or it might be 6 years for some people, right? And there's not a right or wrong in that space, but it is, shutting off the chaos and the frenzy and coming into the stillness. And I think what I've been learning as well is because our quantum processors are speeding up, and our ability to generate and to manifest is becoming there's more spark, there's more charge, so it's more active, that you really want to be aware of what you're attracting in every single moment. And so if you can take that breath, then you're attracting more calm and more peace. And this is my personal journey, is I was just always in a like go mode. And I've recognized this year I had to stop and slow down, because I attract so quickly. I was just attracting more rush. And so I had to consciously stop a lot of things to settle into like the groove of peace, because we want actually to attract peace into our life and then project peace into the planetary sphere. It's interesting, and I was tuning into that this morning as well, that's why rest and relaxation is such a potent tool at this time, because that's what you want to breathe into this ecosystem and into this environment. And you have to be it.
Yeah, and you have to be it. Literally, that was the full stop. You have to be it. Oh, well, it was a flashback, and we've said it a couple of times through the COVID, when the world stopped in a lot of places, and the planet was able to regenerate. It was the rest and relaxation principle there in play across waterways, roads, everywhere. And there was incredible regeneration in a relatively short amount of time. The earth was willing.
The earth's ready. She's always been ready. She's doing her thing, and she's giving us an opportunity to catch up. Is what I see, is that we have this opportunity and this space and time to be kind to her, to nurture. It's just like ourselves, right? And just like the collective in our relationships with others, we also have this opportunity as a species to be kind and nurturing and loving to her, because she's going on her path. She's going on this ascension journey, and her frequencies are elevating, and she's kind of kicking everyone off that doesn't align.
I was just about to say this about humans. Like, there's a strong feeling at the moment too, where people are dropping away if they're just not resonating with where you're going. It's nothing bad, and it has been happening for a while, but it's like, I think it's gone to another level where it's just kind of separating out.
And there's no right or wrong in that either. It's just a frequency alignment, so it's your choice. It's always your choice. And your choice happens in every moment, with whether you're going to be kind and nurturing to that child crossing the road, or that person walking down the street. Whatever it is, that's a moment of choice. In creating a new timeline for yourself or for another. So if you've been grumpy, or if you've been upset, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just take the opportunity to share a smile.
Allow it,
with somebody, and it can change the world.
I guess that word "pay it forward" is like you paying forward your grumpiness, or you paying forward a smile, and have an opportunity for that to carry on, as opposed to the grumpiness.
And you could be grumpy for 2 years and then change your mind.
Exactly. And then you're surrounded by a lot of grumpiness, and you go, but I want to be happy.
Exactly. What feels better, and that's where the spiritual evolution comes into play.
I think for me, I'm just sitting here just feeling into it, and I want to go back to that word opportunity. Because I really feel like that we need to trust and believe and know there truly is, lots of opportunity around us right now. And that it is, the word trust just keeps coming in for me personally. Like when I have these little moments of asking, and then trust. Oh, that's beautiful. A man is pointing to a sign that says "trust in you."
Love it.
That's so beautiful. When I personally have, because I've been asking a lot more than normal, and really.
And how hard is that when you start?
It's so hard. You forget. You forget to ask.
That's really hard.
So it's been almost like a mantra for me every morning. Get out of bed, put my feet on the ground, ground myself, and say, hello sunshine, hello world. I'm ready for you. What have you got for me today? I'm ready. And I get these beautiful gifts that happen, and it can be really simple ones, or it can be quite profound ones, and I end up crying because I'm just, that feeling of, oh, you really do have me, or you really do hear me.
Yeah. And
I think a lot of the time, and a lot of us look for that in people outside of ourselves, and that's where we're, dare to say it, but that's where we're going wrong. You can't expect or assume or expect a lot from others. You
can't expect anything from others. No. You can't expect from yourself.
Just got to find that fulfillment within, and that joy that you get from it is bigger than any type of joy that I've ever felt when I get something from the universe. And it's always something good and for me and fulfilling, and then when I'm a better human and when I'm feeling better, I know that's what those around me get as well back.
It's a reflection of who you are in the moment in time.
Yeah, right.
Because you're honoring and you're giving you're giving this sacred energy to life. You're receiving the sacred energy back.
Yeah.
And you're worthy of receiving all of it, and that's for each one of us. We have this, I think it's an inbuilt mechanism of low self-worth and low self-esteem.
Yeah.
No matter who we are,
Yeah.
that's kind of at the underlying foundational point for just, I think, I can't say all of us, but I can say most of the human race.
Yeah.
And when you get those gifts, Jo, it's so special because
so
you know that you're part of creation.
Yeah.
And
That's
creation
so
loves
true.
and creation loves you.
Yeah, we talk about this worthiness, unworthiness a lot, don't we? It's like, I think that's why we're together in relationship. It's the way that we bounce off each other, and I mean, there's no coincidences ever, but it's so beautiful, just to be able to talk with that and understand each other and finish each other's sentences and do all that and it's like, I see how beautiful she is. And
yeah. Likewise.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful, and that's a trusting, nurturing relationship. That's not necessarily held together from trauma, and that's what so many relationships.
Our wounds are not our reason for being together, but we have understanding around it.
And it's really beautiful. And so many of us have come from trauma backgrounds that we're just recreating in relationship.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, even myself, I was creating a lot of relationships from trauma, and I didn't see it until I saw it.
Yes.
And that is the whole awakening process on another dimension is. And it's all, I always see it as a gift though, because it's like, oh, thanks for showing me that.
Yes.
I didn't see it before. And, and a lot of it for me has come down to the self-worth.
Yeah.
It's always that underlying little principle of worthiness, I think, that can catch a lot of us off guard.
Yeah. It's a big hook to the planet, isn't it? Or a big hook to the programming and the condition, all of that stuff. It's a big hook. Let's make them all feel like shit.
So that they will, do anything we do to make them feel better.
Yes.
They're going to be grateful for.
Yeah.
And that's the holidays, the vacation days, the weekends, so that you can stay a slave to the corporate
you work
or the
9 to 5
mediocre.
and we'll give you 2 days off. Yay!
Yeah.
4 weeks a year holidays.
Yeah.
Yay!
We've just downgraded your healthcare plan. But here's a new drug that'll help you feel better about it.
It's wild when we could go down that path, but we're not going to. It's so
But
depressing. But it's so true.
That's the slave society
Yes.
that's been nurtured for eons, and we've just continued to play a part of
Yeah.
it. And so now it's a time when everyone's waking up.
Yes.
And everyone's seeing that there's a different path or a better path to choose.
Yeah.
So
I know there's a beautiful girl in the States, Candace Owens. I don't know whether you've heard of her.
I have. I've seen some of her work.
I love her. She's amazing. She is an African-American young woman who's paving the way, to dismiss
she's
all
amazing.
past conditions and programs and everything that run a certain race and society. And she's just so incredible to listen to. She's just breaking down all these beliefs.
That's who we want as our
Empowering
conscious leaders.
Yeah.
That's elevating those people into positions of making choices on behalf of humanity is one of our goals.
Absolutely. We are one. We are, no matter what the colour of our skin. I love that saying, when you cut somebody, we all bleed the same colour. It's like we are all one.
Well, we all bleed.
We all bleed. It's true.
It's that simple.
It's so true. It's wild.
Yeah. And I see that as mending the differences here. It also mends the differences intergalactically as well. So we're doing the work not just for our society, our generations, our healing of nations. We're doing the work in a much, much bigger way. And I know that there are some who are quite aware of that on the planet. And I think some are going to really wake up to that fact that we're doing this as a collective one, and the one extends further than just mankind.
Wow.
But we have to start here.
Very narrow-minded, aren't we? If we just thought that way.
We have to start here with the self.
Yeah.
Work out to our families, our communities,
Yes.
then our nations, and pretty soon you don't have a world with borders in regards to race, but everything is celebrated.
Yeah.
You hold your individuality, you hold your spark of truth, and that is honored,
Yes.
regardless if that does not look like mine.
So amazing, isn't it?
It is.
When you look at it like that. Like you just gave me a bit of a tap too. I'm always, one to think there, but it's almost like I just had this thought of, oh yeah, I believe in all of that, but I don't have, I don't owe them anything, kind of thing. It's out of my hands, kind of thing. But hey, wow, that's limiting me.
But we are going to be moving into intergalactic society before too long. I think it might still be some years yet. But when that occurs, it's not any different than what's going on the human level. You have got agendas, and you have to learn how to discern, right? And you have to align with love, and love is that key. And just side note, but it doesn't make just because they're not human, doesn't make anyone better. If that makes sense.
No, absolutely.
Or knowing more or wiser. Yes, there may be a little bit more of a knowledge base and wisdom,
knowingness.
but keep in mind that all things can be distorted here, everywhere. So it's coming back to the inner version of self and the inner truth in all situations.
And in all situations, not handing your power away.
Exactly.
In any interaction or with any being.
We've had this conversation before. I remember once, I've changed now. I've learned better, but I remember thinking one day, if some kind of being showed up in front of me and was like, Joe, you're the chosen one, and my ego speaking that, you are the chosen one, and you can have this if you just do this. How I'd go, yeah, I'll do it. Because I am the chosen one, because you said I was. It's like,
I knew you'd come.
Yeah, I knew you'd come. I've been waiting for you. You're a bit late. Like, how many limiting thoughts are just in that alone, and how much power am I giving away in that moment?
Yes.
Everything.
And and that's like, that is the hook right there that will get each one of us caught in the ego trap. But it's any being that doesn't say you are all the chosen ones.
Yes. Is not
exactly exactly. Each one of us is the chosen one.
Yeah.
And that's the truth of the matter.
And do you think, and that's why the energy, like you're saying, the quantum processing is happening so quickly, we're literally speeding up on an quantum energetic level, but also the awareness around, we are co-creators, we are divine source, God is within us, we are God, we are the oneness. It's a preparation that raised awareness and connection and understanding within ourselves is a part of preparation for this space that is opening up to the galactic.
Absolutely. It's all preparation, right? So we have a matrix that's kind of been torn apart. And there have been a lot of holes, and there's been a lot of gaps in evolution, and we've been lied to. And everything's coming to a head now. It's a time for the convergence of the truth.
Yeah. Meg is doing a little dance.
And the source, in to know that you are God, you are that source, you are the original creator in manifest form. We're fractals of the whole, we're fractals of the one. I'm looking at another version of me, as are you, and we have forgotten that over eons. And it's kind of the game, it's a hologram. We're actually here to learn that truth. Yeah. And so you as you know that truth, then you can respond with more kindness and compassion. To each and every one of us, even those that are perpetuating violence and hatred, because they're just another version of the same source. And it's a linear reality that makes us think that they're different. But they're actually not. And that's that is the truth. It doesn't make it right what's occurring. And that's the fine line that we all have to walk, is to be able to acknowledge the specialities of each person, of each being, in bringing us home to the one.
So everybody is playing their part, and it's all a moving part to make everything.
We're like a car engine or some incredible machine, not machine, but organic machine. And we're all a piece of that tapestry of life. And so that person over there, if that pain wasn't happening and that devastation, that wouldn't spark a revolution to reignite the soul, and for the soul to come to the table and to start to speak and to have that evolutionary process that's required.
So it's a bit like a human person, just to bring it back into a smaller scale.
Yes.
Having a bit of a dark night of the soul, or having a major breakdown, or thinking they're falling apart, or falling into a deep depression. We need to hit that rock bottom to then go to be able to have a look at.
Some of us need to. Some of us actually need that as part of the process. I don't want to say that's a blanket for everybody, because I don't think that's the case. But I do think some of us learn better through that.
Suffering.
Through that wall being up close and personal. Right? And then we can really get a different perspective on life. And so as we go through these portals in time, we are literally reclaiming our own essence and the essence of those around. And that's why the helping people wake up is such a vital part. And it's a vital responsibility for each one of us right now, is to say, hey, this is available. It's up to you what you choose, but this path is here, which will lead to a more beautiful life and a more beautiful soul's journey, if you're looking at it from outside of the human plane. Because there are some deep realms you can go into if you continue that path of solitude, isolation, breakdown, resistance.
Buried in concrete.
Exactly, 12 feet under.
It can't get much denser than that.
No. But this is that we come back around full circle again to like the relevance of these beautiful energy portals of, like, say, the 11:11 or eclipses, and raising the energy, the alignment that's literally in the air, for us all to lift up and treat each other with kindness, compassion, recognize the oneness within, go within, to go without, because the sooner our collective voice gets louder, the sooner that tapestry that you're talking about with that person over there whose purpose is to cause pain and suffering, so we have a reaction of, you know, revolution and overcoming that to move forward. As soon as we stop repeating those lessons of, oh, we have to experience pain to move forward, that is when we really flip over into that next level of consciousness where Gaia's waiting for us and going, okay, great, walk on my grass.
Yeah, and she is here, and she's literally giving us this opportunity to learn. And so it's like she's holding the ship for a little bit longer. Yeah. So, you know, get on board with being a compassionate, wise keeper of this earth plane and humanity. And all that takes is literally just a hug or a smile or a little bit of love sent in the direction of yourself. and then have it spread outward. But it's an amazing portal in time. And I think 1111 is literally just here to help us remember that we can manifest a new earth timeline at any place in this reality.
Yeah. Without getting
it's like it's every moment, like you said, every moment is a gift. And so you're doing that. It's your beautiful example of what you're doing, Joe, what you said, your morning routine.
Yeah.
And to practice that sacred reverence for life as a gift.
Yeah, and look, I'm not saying it's easy. I have to really, you know, take time out of my day. And I'm realizing how important it is. You know, like it's something something I have to say to myself. Sit down, Joe. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Do this. It's really important for you right now. Just take 10 minutes, 15 minutes out of your day. It's like, it's hard. I'm not going to lie. It's hard to put that time aside, but it's for me now, in this body, in this lifetime right now, it's important for me, and I'm realizing that now more than ever. And look, I've been down the path of journaling and all this stuff for years. It's been something that's always just been there, and I do it, and I'll do it for like 5 days, and I won't do it again for like 6, 8, 9 months or whatever. Where I think now I'm like, I need to do this.
Because that's the most important thing you can do for yourself, but also the planet as a whole, because that your frequency then is at a completely different resonance, and that's bringing in the energy that creates worlds to create bounty and beauty and love. And imagine when you're talking, I'm just getting the message, imagine if we all did this 3 days straight.
Yeah.
How happy everybody would be.
In peace
too.
and harmony.
Yeah.
And I'm getting you would stop wars.
Yeah.
If you had a collective consciousness that was capable of holding space for people here.
The light that would be created in there would be, you know, someone else said this to me too, you know, that when you talk about lightness of being, so we've got the density, which is the stuff. And then once you release the density, you have the lightness of being. And it's not only the light as in the bright light, like the sun, it's the light as in the weight of you.
The ether,
the lightness. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. I never thought of it like that. I always just thought of it as being a bright, shining light, you know, not a lightness of being.
And that's the ascension mode. Is when you're starting to float. Yeah,
because you actually do feel lighter. You go, oh, I feel so good. I can do this and go there, and you know, there's no time and there's no this and no that. It's just you feel light.
And well, literally, that's the thing, isn't it? Too, like working with people physically, and you know, and you see it too probably when people come in and afterwards, you know, working with yourself, Zhara, where you know, the weight of the world is on their shoulders. And after a treatment, walking out, and, you know, they're taller. And their face is lighter. They're different beings than what they walked in with. What they were carrying when they walked in.
And the whole strategy is not to put the backpack back on.
You know,
and that's the work
Yeah.
that we each have to manage for ourselves.
And then they pass that on, and then they pass that on. And they pass that on.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
It is. It's a beautiful time.
It's a very beautiful time to be alive in every sense of the word. That spark of truth, I think, is quite an activating spark for the basis of everything to catch on fire.
Yeah. Remember, you're God. The person sitting next to you is God.
Yes.
Tap them on the shoulder. Remind them of that.
Oh,
And before long, you have a wave and you have a crescendo that can change the tides on this planet.
Yeah.
And that is the real gift of what we're doing with speaking, is being able to share that.
Yeah.
Because that sparks memories, it sparks the activations,
Yeah.
and signals others to do the same. So
Oh, yeah.
keep
That's so
talking.
beautiful. Seeing God in everyone. I love that. Seeing the light in everybody.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Here's the thing, is because you are,
Yes.
right? I'm not just saying this. You
Yes.
are God.
Yeah.
You are that force. And that force can activate both dualistic realities.
Yeah.
Right, and that's if we can transcend just the human realm and look from that perspective, because you are that force of God, you are God, and you are source, you are creator, you actually have both dualistic natures sitting inside of you. And so when you come to peace with the fact that you are dark and you are light, and so is our realm, and so are the others around you, and some people are choosing to play one side of the field, that's how we can find peace and change the collective energy as a whole.
Yeah.
It's really the acceptance, it's the non-judgment, it's the principle of allowing each to their own.
Yeah.
Oh,
The 5D.
As long as we don't violate the do no harm principle.
Yeah.
I mean, and when we are violating that, we all need to help each other stop.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think isn't the 11th is Day of Remembrance, which is a very beautiful way to remember those who have gone before us, so that we may walk forward today. But there's also a lot of global meditations that work around the 11th of the 11th. There's a harmonic frequency and a basis for creating that global connection and alignment. So maybe our listeners might want to kind of tune in on the 11th and just recognize that at 11 and maybe the other people are doing the same thing, and just have a few minutes, 11 minutes.
Yeah. 11 minutes of meditation.
That's a great idea.
It is. Can we end this beautiful, beautiful podcast with maybe a little something
Zara.
from you? Zara?
We'll see what's
what's
there. What comes through. Okay. Kosita kunayana, simayana, sita sita sitaya. Aya simasya tayana kunayana simasya. The most important gift that you can possibly remember in this reality field is that you are the light of God, and you are also the darkness. You are the awake. You are the slumber. You are the peace, and you are the chaos. Which lane do you want to walk in? You only get to choose once as this great divide comes to an end. You have an opportunity to cross a bridge. And that is what is most important to remember. Is that at some point the gates are going to close, because we have an ascension journey with this earth. And there are two different material universes that are playing out. And so while we want you to remember all roads are equal, all roads lead back home, you have to decide how you want to walk the path, how you want to navigate reality. Make this the season of change. Make this the life where you give back freedom to humanity, where you choose to stand up for your rights and the rights of those around you. You actually have a window in time when many ascended masters are walking the earth plane. They are here in physical form and able to help lead revolutions of the one and bring you into a galactic society in which you recognize your place on this earth is only but a small piece of existence. As you navigate this interdimensional field, make sure that you stay true to your heart and your heart alone. Navigate with friends, with communities, with nation tribes, with any individual you want. But make sure your home is your heart. And that is what will steer you clear of any other energies that may want to take you off track. Because remember, this is an actual minefield. You see what's going on in the collective sphere. There is much more that sits beneath the surface that many of you don't see. If you stay true to your heart, you won't need to worry about any of it. You can let it all disappear and do what you are here to do. Because the revolution is now, where we return to the grace of God, the source, the creator of each one of us. When you know who you are, you will change this planet and the lives of all who walk upon it. Sutta Kunayana, Sumayana, Sutta Sutayana, Suttasya. So go with love, go with joy, go with the beauty of the ages. But do not forget the wisdom of the eternal self is always what you seek. Sutta Kunayana, Sumasyataya. And that is accessed through the gateway that is your heart's center. Sutta Kunayana, Sumayana, Sutta Sutaya Kumaya. And the heart is what comes into alignment with a new earth reality for you and all those around you. So if you are one who gives back to the earth and gives back to the people, in whatever form that comes for you, your life will magnify tenfold. When you hold back your gift, you feel stagnant and stale. So give what you are here to give. It is the time to do so. Sutta Kunayana, Sumayana, Sumasyataya. Sutta Kunayana, Sumayana, Sumasya. And that will magnify the gateway to heaven, new earth, Shambhala, however you want to visualize that. That magnifies it tenfold for everyone around you as well. Sutta Kunayana Sumasya. You're not going to have everyone step up into the frequency that Jo necessarily holds when she gets out of bed. But because she does that, she has the ability to make things possible for others who cannot get there. And that's how you help each other at this time. If you have the opportunity to be in that frequency, then please take it. Because it's not just you are helping. You are helping all of those around you. And they are not just your brothers and sisters. They are literally the antithesis of separation. They are you in another form. That's how you help yourself from the inside out and the outside in. Sutokonayana, sumanasyataya. Kasutokonayana.
That's
Simasya.
beautiful. Yes, powerful, beautiful. Perfect way to round it off.
I think so.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sutokonayana, Simasya.
I talk to a spirit. She comes in my dreams.
Thank you for listening to our Girl Awakening podcast. We are also on YouTube as Girl Awakening. We'd love to see you there with comments on how our guests resonated with you or your own awakening. Please share the love with a like and subscribe while you're there. A blissful thank you to Ksenia Luki, the amazing artist behind our theme song. We will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.